we already did our introduction for the essay, and I gave you strategies for that. And at this point, you all should have an introduction. So what you need to work on next is the conclusion. So right now, our hands are off the computers, and our eyes are on the presentation. So there's one type of conclusion that you would always use for a persuasive essay. Okay, as far as a personal essay, it depends upon your topic. And it's called a call to action. Can anyone guess what you think a call to action means? A call to action is when you tell somebody what to do or think. All right? So there are sometimes these sentence starters. You don't need these. Some writers don't need these. Some writers do need these. But these are examples of call to action sentence starters that would help you lead to this type of conclusion. So what you might want to do is in your conclusion is restate your thesis in a different way. So in order to restate it, you could say something like, as you see, it is true that blueberries are the best food for your health. Or as you can see, it's true that video games are ruining our youth. And then these are sentences, but you're not just going to put this sentence starter with one sentence. You're adding additional detail. So you would say, I would like you to consider, so please rethink your punishment, be a role model, my concern is loud and needs to be heard, you must act immediately to protect our children, if you pull together, we can, I demand that the blank act immediately and put an end to, here's a challenge to you, stand together now, and don't. So these are some starters. I'm going to show you how some of them would be used. Now, I'm modeling this for you, but I'm actually using a persuasive essay thesis. But you can still apply this to a personal essay thesis. So our eyes should be up there and our hands are off the keyboard. So we're going to say that our thesis was all extra activities should not be canceled. Let's say the board presented this whole budget cut and they wanted to cut all those extracurricular activities. All right? So this is what the model reads. So go ahead and read it to yourself right now. All right, so what this writer did is right here, as you can see, it is true, all right, that canceling extracurricular activities will be detrimental to students. So that is restating the thesis. But you have to restate it in a different way. Why would you want to restate it in a different way? So let's say, for example, my thesis was blueberries are great for your health. Why would I not want to restate the exact same way in my conclusion? As you can see, blueberries are good for your health. I'm sure there's more than 3 people who have brains in this classroom who are thinking. So think right now and talk it over with the person next to you. Yes, we'd want to restate the thesis in a different way because it would be boring and it would be repetitive. All right. The evidence speaks for itself. So please rethink your punishment. So that right here, rethink your punishment, that's a little sentence starter. Look inside your heart and revoke this destructive punishment. The students and teachers will be forever grateful. So if you look, the writer's not just putting that sentence starter, but putting a couple of additional thoughts to go along with it. Okay, and if you notice, the conclusion does not have to be super duper long, right? Just like the introduction just does not have to be super duper long. So once again, in this model, the author restates the thesis in a different way, uses one of the sentence starters, and tells the reader what to do. Okay? Now, how many of you think you have a thesis that a call to action would definitely work? So give me an example of a thesis where a call to action would definitely work. So if you look at these theses, the call to action would definitely work for humans cause much suffering to polar bears. Guns cause violence. People are ignorant when it comes to waste. However, if we're talking about, what is your thesis again, Skylar?
Athletes sacrifice tremendously to maintain their careers.
All right, athletes sacrifice tremendously to maintain their careers. All right, I don't see, what are you going to tell them to do or think? I mean, you can't do a call to action. So you have to keep in mind this technique does not work every single thesis. All right, so what do you do in that case? I'm going to give you another type of thesis. Another type of conclusion. So if a call to action is not working for you, all right, so what you're going to do is you're going to look at some of these other strategies. You can start off with a sentence starter, where you restate your thesis. As you can see, blueberries are the best fruit in the entire world. Or as you can see, video games, all they do is cause violence for kids. Okay? Then you're going to use one or more of the following sentence starters to show the importance of the essay. But you have to add additional thinking. So you're not just going to put the sentence starter and then call it a day. You have to add additional thoughts. So, because this is true, isn't it also true that? I realize that. This makes me think. I realize that when I blank, I feel blank. Others should care about this because. This is important because. All right, now these are just suggestions. You might have your own little technique that you use. That's fine and dandy as long as it works. So our hands are off the keyboards and our eyes are up here. So if we look at an example, here's another way. You can use a template. As you can see, it is true that blueberries are the best fruit in the world. This makes me think or realize, and then your opinion, that everybody really should be going out there and stocking their refrigerators with blueberries and eating them on their pancakes and putting them in their muffins and having bagels, because they are just so awesome. Yes. All right. So here's my model for the thesis that I've kind of been doing all along. So it says, as you can see, it is true that garbage isn't always garbage. All right, so I restated the thesis, but in a different way. Rather, it could be a stunning French door, or a sparkly countertop, or even eye-catching work of art. This makes me think that the next time you're driving down the road and see something in the trash that looks good, don't be afraid to stop and pick it up. Who cares if someone thinks you are a garbage picker? That trash could become the Mona Lisa of your home. What does this type of conclusion actually just really sound like? What type of conclusion did I just teach you previously? Call to action. Aren't I telling you really what to do? I'm telling you, hey, next time you're driving down the road and you see something in the trash, looks good, don't pick it up. Okay? So it is. It has like that call to action feeling to it. Pick up that orange peel. All right, so you're going to restate your thesis, starting with the prompt, as you can see. Then you're going to restate, no, we never restate our reasons. I don't think you should. If you want to, you can if you feel like it works. I don't know. I think because I forgot to delete it. All right? And then tell the reader what to do or think using the prompt, this makes me think. Okay, so now, here's another one. This is another template. I know many of you do not care, and then you would state your thesis. However, reading this essay is important. So, I know many of you probably could care less about blueberries. Who cares? This fruit, it's just a fruit. But however, reading this essay is important. All right, so if you look at my model, I know many of you don't really care or think about how hard marriage is. However, reading this essay is important. For those of you who have marriages that are great right now, one day you may run into difficulties. For those of you who are not even married, one day you might be. You need to understand that marriage isn't a piece of cake. It's not always a walk in the park. There will be days that are hard, but you can work through it. All right? What did I do in here that I shouldn't have done that I want to throw up in my mouth right now? Yes. Nope. I'm talking about the writing aspect of it. We're not talking. Yes.
The last part that says, but you can work through it, you're kind of explaining the opposite.
Nope.
Tell me what to do.
Do I use any language of the disciplines in this particular piece? Yes, I do. Okay. What is wrong with that, though? It's a cliche. So, isn't this are cliches. Boo-hoo. We don't like cliches. So if you look at this model, it's using the whole template. As you can see, this makes me think, this makes me realize, and you state your opinion. Hands are off the keyboards. Hands are off the keyboards, please. I'm talking to you. But what you have to understand is you're not just putting that sentence starter and that's it. You have to have a series of additional thoughts. All right, so restate your thesis with the prompt, as you can see. And that's just a suggestion. You can restate it with another way. Then you're going to, no, we're not restate your reasons if you want to, but we don't like to. Tell a reader what to do or think using the prompt. This makes me think. Yeah. All right, so I think I might have one more model. Okay, here, this is a personal essay model. As you can see, it is true, my aunt is the best aunt in the world. By writing this essay, I realized how lucky I am to have such a great aunt. I should appreciate her while I have her. I should enjoy every moment we spend together because one day she will be taken from me. Okay? So it's using Okay, here's another example. This is from a literary essay. Because listen to me, you have to understand the strategies I'm teaching to you can be applied across numerous types of writing pieces. Okay, it's not just for a personal essay, but for other pieces as well. As you can see, it is evident that Elizabeth is a person others should look up to. Even though she is a character in a novel, she can still be an inspiration to others. This makes me realize, instead of using actors, musicians, or athletes, rather people should search literature for exemplars. Okay? All right. So what we're going to do, we are going to try it. I would like you, and give me a moment because I have to go into Socrative. Stop talking. You are going to go onto Socrative. And you are going to, with your group or your partner, you're going to write a conclusion for this thesis that we've been practicing with. Transitioning from 5th to 6th grade is difficult. Now, I shared with you this doc. So if you check your email, what I would like you to do right now is to go to your drive or go to your email and open up the 2 documents I shared with you on how to write a conclusion for an essay. So nobody should be on Socrative right now because you should have that document opened up. All right, so looking at these conclusions that you created with your partners, I want to hear some of your thinking, all right, on them. Are they using the strategy correctly? Is there something that's confusing you? So when you respond, you do it in a respectful and responsible way. All right? So let's number them. And then let's have a brief conversation. So which one do you think is definitely working? Oh, it's on Frozen. All right, so tell me, can somebody unfreeze it? Don't bother on freeze. All right, yeah, go ahead, unfreeze. And then freeze again. Freeze? Okay. So tell me which one do you think it's definitely working. The strategy seems to be working. They restated the thesis in a different way. They perhaps did a call to action. They had additional thoughts. They didn't just have their sentence starter. So which one do you think really worked? What was just stated in number 2, it says, be careful, you'll end up in a black hole of loneliness. That's an example. So that was already discussed in the body paragraphs. So we don't want to keep that. All right. So number 6, this one, they're talking about a way instead of, a way that transitioning is hard, instead of thinking about as a whole. All right. So you have to restate the whole entire thesis. And the thesis was, transitioning from 5th to 6th grade is challenging or is difficult. So this one did not do this. If you look right here, this one didn't restate the thesis either.
Which one?
Number 5. Okay, number 7 did. Number 4 did in a creative kind of way. Number 3 restated it. Number 2 did, and number 1 did. All right. Now, when I look at your call to action sentence starters, this makes you think that you might have some trouble. Like, I don't really see you telling them what to do or think. So, like, if I were to write this, I'd be like, you know what, guys? And I like it when, the writer talks to the reader. So this essay is written to students who are coming into 6th grade. I might say something like, you know what, guys? A good idea before you come into 6th grade is maybe, practice your locker combination, or get a map of the school. Or, and study the maps. This way you don't get lost. So you have to, you're telling them what to do or think. So what I see a lot of these, I'll wait till you're done talking. It seems like a lot of repetition of the same thoughts and not too many call to actions. So what you are going to do now, your task, is to write the conclusion for your personal essay, using either one of the techniques I taught you or perhaps your own little technique. Can somebody unfreeze that for me? So there should be absolutely no talking. At this point, the introduction should be done, the body paragraph should be done, and the conclusion should be done today. So between Thursday and Friday, we're going to just be doing some revising and editing, and the whole entire piece should be done on Monday. Okay, so you should be sitting in your own seats at a desk and go ahead and work on this.